Hey, welcome back to Vox Terra with me, Matt LaCroix, and me, Rusty, where we're making the long-term survival of our species the political priority. And we use characters with funny voices I don't know really why we do it that way. Who's on for today? Today we're joined by the erudite Professor Finroy and the fire and brimstone preacher Levi to talk about how the media has underreported Bernie's campaign, and it turns out the reasons why are the same reasons why they've underreported climate change for decades. Oh, hello, Preacher Levi. Well, hello there, Professor Finroy. Preacher, I wish to share with you an email I received from the Bernie Sanders campaign. Why, Bernie was complaining about the media's lack of attention on his campaign. Yes, I do seem to believe there's some truth to that. Bernie pointed out in this email what I believe to be the major part of a structural problem of our society, the reason why people are so easily turned against their own interests, the reason why big tobacco was able to cast decades of doubt on the obvious science that breathing in smoke is bad for a person, the reason why we see the same scenario playing out with the simple proposition that we are burning way too much fossil fuels for our own good. Why, yes, that we are being deceived, if you shall, Professor, deceived. Why, to quote in part from the letter, in our campaign we are taking on Wall Street, the insurance companies, the pharmaceutical industry, the fossil fuel companies, note the fossil fuel companies, the military-industrial complex, the prison-industrial complex, and the 1%. In other words, to quoting Bernie's email, we are taking on the corporate elite and the billionaire class who exercise enormous power over the economic and political life of our country. Why, Professor Finroy, I do believe that Bernie has hit the nail on the head. As Scripture warned us, Jesus once went out to the desert, and there he was tempted by the devil with all the powers and riches of this world, but he turned down that temptation from the devil. Yes, and in a similar way, we feel that Bernie is turning down the powers of the corporate industry, especially the fossil fuel industry. Not to say they're all bad, but we need balance. Our society is completely dominated by these interests. Now, this email, what is so important, is he points out the domination of our media. Yes, our media. And that is where the seeds of deceit can be sown. Or at least the seeds of underreporting the important issues of the day. They tend to neglect where the corporate powers are polluting our earth, and always have, and not just limited to fossil fuels, but it's happening to this day. So does this email from Bernie explain why the corporate media seems to underreport issues like climate change and environmental toxins caused by industry? Yes, in a roundabout way, he goes on to say, the answer lies in the fact, but here he's answering the question of why they underreport his campaign. The answer lies in the fact with something that is rarely discussed. That is, the corporate media is owned by a small number of large media conglomerates. And I would add the power of the advertisers. Well, surely the advertisers must influence the media, as we saw in the past with tobacco. They influence the media to underreport the tales about tobacco causing cancer for decades. And they've been doing the same with the fact that burning excessive amounts of fossil fuels is superheating our planet, not to mention polluting our air and waters. Well, actually, Preacher Levi was a bit unfair. Bernie does go on to mention the power of advertisers in his email. He says, and I quote, if you watch TV tonight, check out how many ads come from drug companies, insurance companies, the fossil fuel industry. I would add that the press has what are called journalistic standards, but yet they are influenced by their corporate ownership. It is a simple matter of the nature of what we are dealing with. It is not a blame game. But what about this idea they put out that Fox and these vague internet sources they get are somehow an alternative? Yes, Levi, that's a good point we need to dismiss. Fox is owned by Rupert Murdoch, also a large corporate interest. You see, Fox represents the next layer down of the corporate establishment, but a deeper layer. Industry front groups actively paying for disinformation, often wrapping information in false patriotism. Why, yes, Finroy, I've seen this even before I went back in my younger day. Smokers' rights, and they said themselves as they're defending freedom. And we see that today, that somehow the excessive burning of fossil fuels is portrayed as defending freedom. And to see a closer look at this deeper layer, we've often suggested you look at dsmog.com. There's numerous articles exposing groups like the American Legislative Exchange Council and the Koch brothers. Why, one of them has passed away. Yes, he has, but we believe their work of promoting climate denial and attacks on clean energy will go on. Why, they've actually attacked clean energy. That they have. And that is why we like Bernie, or I do at least, because in his emails he helps us with these talking points. He helps us cut through the lies and deceit. Thanks a lot, Professor Finroy and Preacher Levi. Yeah, they did a great job, didn't they, Rusty? Now I get it. There's 3 layers. There's the fact that the media is owned by large corporations. There's the power of the advertisers. And then there's the paid-for denial by industry front groups. Yes, and until next time, please like, spread the word, and share this video. Subscribe. Click the notification button. Comment. Constructive criticism is always welcome. We're hoping to improve the show. Let us know who is your favorite Democrat for president. And until next time, peace be with you. Peace be with you.